It's April 15th, the day you are supposed to file those federal income taxes. And if you still haven't filed, you need to have a strategy, some things you need to know. For more on the most common mistakes and how to avoid penalties and fees, we're joined by Martin Smith from Wealthcare Financial Group. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
It is April the 15th, and let's be honest, people being people, they've put it off to the last minute.
Unfortunately, sometimes they do.
If you haven't even started, should you follow through? I mean, there are a couple of things you can do if you haven't. What do you suggest?
Well, I suggest the first thing you do is get all your documents together, take your time and file an extension. It's most important to file an extension and make sure you get it right the first time versus rush through it and potentially make errors along the way, and you can get flagged for an audit or something of that nature. So you want to just take your time and file an extension, and you have 6 months to do so until October 15th of this year.
Does the extension itself require a separate form? Maybe you have to download something from the IRS?
Yes, you can go to the IRS website and download form 4868, which is the extension form that you should file.
Do that, and you at least have the extra time to file. But it doesn't get you off the hook if you think you owe. So maybe you have to estimate there?
You do have to estimate, and if you owe, you have to pay by 11:59 p.m. tonight. So yeah, you're not off the hook if you owe.
So it's the same sort of thing, though, if you are, if that's how you do it, and frankly, people make a big show about this. They get in that line. There's the Merrifield Post Office in Northern Virginia. They had signs up over the weekend saying, expect heavy traffic here on the night of April the 15th, and they probably will have. Folks will line up just so they can drop it off at the absolute last minute.
And that's why we recommend using e-file, electronic filing. You can avoid those long lines at the post office, and who wants to sit in a long line and be stressed out over your taxes? Just e-file if you can. Probably have less errors that way, so I think it's best to use that resource.
If you're working on them today, there's that certain deadline pressure. Does that make you more prone to mistakes? And if there are mistakes, what are the ones that you see most common or you hear about?
Some of the most common mistakes, and these are completely avoidable, is one, getting the Social Security number incorrect. So writing down the incorrect Social Security number. Another common mistake is doing the math wrong, and that's really important. You've got to get the math right. If you get the math wrong, then you could get yourself flagged for an audit. So some other mistakes is sometimes an individual will not sign the bottom of their tax return form, or they'll claim the wrong filing status. So just taking your time and doing it right is most important, but most importantly, get the math correct.
And if it just seems like it's too much, and I have a feeling you're going to be sitting at the dining room table or whatever it is about 8:30 tonight if you haven't done this, and say, wow, I'm in over my head, you need to think about that extension. It's a simple thing. It's not any, you're not going to get a more accusatory eye on the part of the IRS. It's an extension. A lot of people do that.
Yeah,
right?
it's totally fine. The IRS, asking for an extension is not a bad thing. Sometimes people believe that it's taboo to do so. The IRS does not frown upon you for requesting an extension. They rather you request an extension to give yourself that time to file correctly. You're helping yourself, you're helping them. So it really, I think it's important to just go ahead and do so. Breathe easy, ask for the extension. You have until until October 15th. If you do, that's 6 months to get it right. And I think it's in your best interest to do so. And you can also, by the way, you can track your returns. You can track your refund online. We put a link on our site. You can go to our blog, answersaboutwealth.com, and you could find a link there to track your refund after you filed.
Great information. Martin Smith, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good to have you here from Wealthcare Financial Group today. Very helpful stuff.